It's 2012 in June. My son and I are at the doctor's office. The brain surgeon walks in. He leans against the counter and crosses his legs. That's when I saw the tear in his eyes. He looks up and he said, "The brain tumor's grown back for the third time in just 5 months." I'm Kris Barney. How many of you have had hard trials? Anybody? Loss of a loved one, loss of a job, possibly even a sick member of your family? What I can tell you is how you act during those trials will make or break your life. Today I want to teach you 2 traits, profound traits that will ultimately change your world. I have been through a lot of really hard trials, and during those trials, it's taken great strength to overcome them. The first one is service. You're thinking, sure, I do service, right? Check. We don't have to listen anymore. Service can be really easy. What I found is that most of us consider our service as how we're serving. But for me, when I look at it, maybe it's that you're a mother and you're serving your kids. Maybe you have a church calling or possibly a community involvement. When we do that, I call that obligated service. Because someone's asked us to do it, or it's required with our job, or maybe because we're a parent. That's simple service. The kind of service that I'm actually talking about today is when you feel it deep in your heart. When it changes you because you served someone else. That's sincere service. Go back 17 years with me to June of 1995. My 9-year-old son just got diagnosed with his first brain tumor. It was the size of a lemon. That's pretty big inside your head. They gave him less than 50% chance of survival. That's pretty tough to take. I still had 3 other kids at home. We spent 180 nights in the hospital in 11 months. And you can imagine it got pretty overwhelming, pretty hard, pretty heavy. And I just felt like we needed to do something different. Here's this 9-year-old. He'd much rather be playing football or baseball than going to the hospital or even school. So I said, we're going to do it different. Got him in the car, told him he had to pick a balloon in the gift shop when we got there. And he's like, why? I said, because we're going to go find the person that deserves that balloon. He's like, that's lame. Right? 10 years old, big, he's on his own, right? So he's going to show me. He picks a pink congratulations balloon. Pink! That meant we were visiting girls, right? And the congratulations at the hospital, is that really very common in a children's hospital? Not at all. What we found was we visited a lot of people, a lot of kids. We found the perfect girl, 9 years old. Her last chemotherapy treatment, she was done. She had a brain tumor. We also found kids that would never leave the hospital alive. We found a little boy who spent 21 days in the hospital a month, and his parents could only show up for 3 of them. He was from out of state. He was 7. When you serve others in sincere service, your problems are all of a sudden not as big. You'll find others have big problems. The second thing I want to talk about today is gratitude. Again, you're thinking, check, easy, thanks for my house, thanks for my food, and of course, my shoes, right? But true gratitude, genuine gratitude, is when you can be grateful for the difficult trials. When you can be grateful for the lessons you're learning, when you can be grateful that you are the one that gets to leave the hospital, when you can feel your heart that your character has been changed because you're grateful for every moment, every minute of every day with every one of those people in your family. Because when they're gone, there's no getting it back. Back to my son. And the story I started with. He was 26. He broke his back, and then we started into brain tumors 10 weeks later. In 7 months, he went through a broken back, 3 brain tumor removal surgeries, and radiation. You'll remember when the fires came through last year in Harriman. It burned down 4 homes in my neighborhood. We had a neighbor, their house was saved, but everything on the 10 acres was lost. My son was the first one on that doorstep, and he stood there and held the railing because he could only be up for about 20 minutes as he rang the doorbell. They answered the door, and he said, "What can I do? How can I serve? How can I help?" Genuine gratitude and sincere service will change your world. They'll build your character, and they'll make your life the way you want it. My thought that I'd like to leave with you today is the little things that you do on a consistent basis will literally change your life. I'm Kris Barney. Thank you.